And as we gather this year for Easter, we remember our loved ones and a few lost loved ones this year. This year, our TBZ community lost 7 friends and members, and I want to lift up their memories. Our dear Janice Weiss died in Jerusalem 2 weeks ago. She was a longtime Brooklyn resident. During her last years in Brooklyn, she lived at 1550 Beacon and became a regular at TBZ. Janice was loved by all, especially the children, who felt tremendous pride when they grew taller than her. We send our love to TBZ members and friends who were part of her family: Jonathan, Nikki, Lila, Ari Dector, David and Carol Dector, Mickey Brown, and Sheila Dector. Fred Almond died last March. He and his late wife, Marcia, were longtime members of our community. Fred and Marcia were very involved in the creation of TBZ's beautiful faith quilts. His daughter, Alisa, continues to be part of our community from afar, and we send you, Alisa, I've seen you on Zoom, our love and condolences. Devorah Steinberg died last February. Devorah and Josh were members of TBZ for a long time. Devorah and Josh loved the TBZ retreat and had many friends in our community. She was only 56 years old. And we send our love to Josh and hold Devorah in our hearts. David Buxbaum died last January. He was a longtime TBZ member. He was 91 and was loved by many in our community. David was actively involved in our community, especially shaping the adult education committee for many years, and was actively involved in the men's group. Betty continues to be part of our community, and we send our deepest love and support. Aida Belansky, we heard from Bernie about Aida. She died early January. Aida, sweet and full of life and color. We already miss you. Siempre en nuestro corazón, Aida querida. Stuart Books. Stuart and Judith have been part of TBZ since 2002. Tradition and Judaism was so important to him. He would always discuss and disagree in a lot of matters of tradition and liturgy. If you knew Stuart, you knew that he had a wonderful sense of humor, a big smile, and a special presence. Stuart died last November, and we hold Judith Haber close, and Stuart's sister, Roberta, who after Stuart died, joined TBZ to say Kaddish for him and is a regular part of our Boker Tov community. And Mort Berenson, who died last November. I have to say that I still wait for him to walk in the middle of the service, in the middle of the aisle, and say Good Shabbos, no matter in which part of the service we are. Mort was a dedicated member of TBZ for 60 years. Mort was one of a kind, elegant, funny, just a unique guy, friend of everyone. Heidi, Mort's daughter, she said she would be here today. I don't think she made it. Heidi? No. Okay. She was going to try to be with us today. Heidi, our community is not the same without your dad, but know that we carry his legacy. We will always. We will remember each of them. They were part of our community, and their memory is a blessing to all of us. And as we say Zkor, remember all those who have died of COVID. 4.55 million souls that have died so far in the world, and 662,000 in the United States. I'm going to mention 2 who are family of TBZ members that are here, and then invite if there's other names you want to lift up. Dvorah Kalin lost her husband to COVID at the beginning, Michael Klagsberg. And Paula Sinclair lost her father to COVID, David Tuvia Lowenthal. There are any other names of people who died from COVID this year? Please lift up their names, say them out loud. God of consolation, surely you count in heaven just as we can here on earth. In shock and in sorrow, the souls sent back to you one by one, the dead from the COVID pandemic. As the ones became tens, the tens became hundreds, the hundreds became thousands, then 100,000s, and now millions upon millions. Each soul, a heartbreak. Each soul, a life denied. אל מלא רחמים שוכן במרומים, אמצא מנוחה נכונה על כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים אותרים כי זוהר רק המזילים, לכל הנשמות שנספו במגפת COVID. God full of mercy who dwells on high, provide us sure rest on the wings of the divine presence among the holy, pure, and glorious, who shines like the sky, the soul of all who died in the COVID pandemic. God of wisdom, we pray for the soul of those taken too soon, those who were vulnerable and unprotected, those who were sacred and scared and forsaken, those who died on ventilators, whose funerals were lonely, who didn't need to die, and those who died alone. God of healing, put an end to this pandemic and all illness and disease. Bless those who stand in service to humanity. Bless those who grieve. Bless the dead so their souls are bound up in the bond of life eternal. And grant those still afflicted with disease or trauma a completed and lasting healing one by one until suffering ceases and we can stop counting the dead in heaven and on earth. Venomad, Amen. Al Malay Rachamim for